Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and today we're talking about pawn shops. Do you remember pawn shops? Do you live in a market that still has pawn shops? Are they even worth a shit if you do? These are some questions where I'm going to tackle. Who remembers pawn shops? Well, I would venture to say most everybody who watches YouTube probably remembers pawn shops, or at least everybody who watches this channel, I would assume, remembers pawn shops. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, they were like the go-to place for everything. They sold everything. Collectibles, action figures, comic books, video games, musical instruments, televisions, stereo equipment, car audio equipment, tools, just anything you were looking for, you went to the pawn shop. And if you didn't find it at this pawn shop, there were 7 more up the street. One of them was bound to have what you were looking for at a pretty reasonable price. But then they kind of shifted. You remember when I talked about the downfall of Radio Shack, where they more or less became nothing but a cell phone store? That's what pawn shops are now. You go into a pawn shop today and they're overflowing with tablets and Chromebooks and cell phone accessories. They might have a small shelf space, singular space devoted to video games. Maybe they got a few, discs, PlayStation, Xbox, etc., up on a bookshelf somewhere on the side of the wall. But for the most part, you go into a pawn shop today, you're going to find guns, which you could always find in pawn shops. You're going to find fewer TVs than you used to. You're barely going to find any video game related stuff. And that's about it. You might find some power tools, like your common power tools, like your drill and your table saw and stuff like that. But you're not going to find a lot else at a pawn shop these days, or at least not the ones I've been to. And I've noticed, just looking at Google Maps and just looking at different cities that I used to live in that had mega pawn shops everywhere, a lot of them are gone. And I don't know if this is because of the pandemic thing, or if this is a continuation of our shift to online shopping type thing, or if maybe something else has filled the void of pawn shops or replaced them. I don't know. But I used to be able to walk into a pawn shop and never know what I was going to find. It was always an adventure. It was always like you would go pawn shops, you'd go hunting for cool items. And now it's like, all right, it's the 6-year-old iPhone that I don't need anymore. And, broken tablets and Chromebooks and shit like that. And it's like, not interested, not interested, not interested. And I was never into buying guns and tools anyways. I had no use for them. So, for me, I guess it might just be the local market I'm in, but I saw the same thing happening when I was around Dallas. Stupid phone. Anyways, I don't know. Do you have any pawn shops left where you are? And if you do, are they still good? Or are they just basically remnants of their former selves? Stay cool.